issue is that the response measure requires a lot of funding, and the KCI itself was created last year in Katowice in order to have mitigation measures cross borders, and at the same time not to exceed the 2% raise in temperature, but without letting the developing countries pay a lot of money. I would like to maybe see them more unified, and also not as happened today, but also like to put a strong work plan, to agree on the themes, and to have more involvement, and to start seeing, because one of the KCI is to have case studies and to have people learning from each other, to start seeing implementation of these case studies, and for different parties to learn from each other's experience, and to be a place for sharing and not only a place for talking. Why it's important, like women are half the society, and it's very weird that we are still discussing this, but I'm going to tell you that the adverse effects of climate change are increasing. Every part of this world is suffering from climate change, but the developing countries are suffering more, and the poor countries are suffering more. And unfortunately, the most vulnerable part of the society is women and the children. So women being part of this, and getting a place in the negotiations, will allow us to empower women, will allow us to make their life easier, since many women working in agriculture and having, maybe now if we implement renewable energy projects in their areas, this will help them in doing their homework easier, and will give them more time for their families, and also will give them more time for their work. And even when we do projects related to water and irrigation, this will allow them to get more profits, and because they will get affected, and their work will get affected more by the effects of climate change. Also, women are not well represented in policy making, so discussing this will give them power and will give them space, and even if we look at the climate fund table, you will not find a lot of women there. It's dominated by men, although there is some women. And we need to give women more space there, and this will allow them to have better place in the societies, will allow them to be policy makers, and will less the burden, and will allow to have more equality in jobs, because there is inequality, and this is related to SDG 8, and also will allow them to have more prosperous life.